comes in at number 4. I think the playoffs really stepped it up for this guy. It really proved how valuable he is. They've coined him a point center, probably the most mobile center in the league. Will be one of the best assist getters in the league. Bam Adebayo, probably one of the best defensive centers in the league just by his mobility. He can get up and down that court. He gets that 5 assists per game, 15, 16, and 10 guy. Solid.
Yeah, and I mean, you hit it right on the nail too with the point center comment. I mean, that's really what puts Bam so high on the list. I mean, like you said, so versatile, and we're probably going to get people who not going to say, "Oh, he's not a center; he's a power forward." And yeah, he did play power forward last year, but he was drafted as a center, and he primarily did play center in his first couple of years with Miami as well. And he'll probably find his way back there. He's not a guy who's fully done developing in terms of filling into his body. He's not a guy who gets pushed around a lot there. And no matter if he's playing on the left or right side or playing a bit up more on the elbow or down on the block, he's a great passer. Like I said, he understands no matter what position he's playing, whether it's the 4, the 5, or the 1, where the ball needs to go, how to dish it out, and where he needs to go next. And that's really what sets Bam apart from DeAndre Ayton at this point, where, again, DeAndre Ayton might put up more of that double-double line. Bam just does so much for Miami. You said in previous videos, he's the spark plug for them, both offensively and defensively, and he's only getting better. Is he going to get that much better in terms of production-wise? We don't know, but he doesn't have to at the same time because he does so much for this team as he is. So if he stays as he is, perfect. He's going to be a number 4 center in this league for a very long time. Probably might even find his way up in potentially a 3 or 2 spot. But if he improves, it could even be even better for him. We could even be talking about, is Bam Adebayo the best center in the league? So time will tell there. But I'm not sure what else you think about him.
See, before last year started, I wouldn't even put him in the top 15. Maybe not even top 30, to be honest. He had that great of a year last year. The fact that he didn't win Most Improved Player, I don't believe he did, would be a little bit of an insult. If he did, prove me wrong. I'm sorry. But no, he had a fantastic year last year in the playoffs. He led that Miami Heat team. We all talk about Jimmy Butler being a leader of that team. He might be the veteran on that team. Bam Adebayo was the moving presence on that team that got them to the finals, I do believe. Between Butler and Jokic were both the vets, so they did both provide that 18 to 20 points per game, but Bam Adebayo provided that heart and soul in that team, but he also provided that fantastic defense. He is likely the only center that we've listed all day that can defend every single position. He is that quick. He is that mobile. He does get those rebounds still. He brings that certain defensive element that even someone like the Rudy Gobert, the Drummonds, and even someone like Embiid, they're not mobile enough to be able to get in front of those shooting guards, those point guards, even a lot of small forwards. They might defend the paint very, very well. Adebayo defends the paint very well as well. This is without talking about that offensive presence that he brings, that being able to move the ball. I think of someone like Marc Gasol, but faster.
Yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, it goes back same thing with Ayton, where yes, he might not be able to hit the 3 yet, but because again he is so, I don't think it's out of the question that he'll ever develop that ability. I think he definitely can, especially as Miami is going to rely on him more and more throughout the years, and we might see him again become kind of more of that Kevin Love thing where he just does everything in the offense to really circulate it. He's going to hit that corner 3 eventually, But even for the time being, I mean, still a guy who hits his free throws. He hits at a 70% rate. He gets there, I believe, about 5 times per game, which is awesome for a center. A guy who, even though he does so much in terms of, again, assists, when you think of a guy who is so versatile, you feel like, oh, maybe he doesn't rebound as well. Puts up over 2 rebounds a game. And I think the main reason he probably didn't get Most Improved Player of the Year this year, obviously Brandon Ingram gets it, but B, also because going into the year, yes, people might not have ranked him in the top 20, top 15, maybe some people were in
top 50, probably some people.
But I think a lot of people did, because after the All-Star break last year, I believe he put up very similar numbers to what he finished with this year. So there was a lot of people high on him going to this year, which just wasn't sure how it panned out. And I mean, it panned out great. He did exactly what everyone was high on him ended up doing. And probably even better. I don't think anyone expected the 5 assists per game, especially the
That
fact
was huge.
it was huge in the fact not only that it happened, but how big of a jump that was. That was 3 assists more per game for a center in his third year, his sophomore to his third year. He gets 3 more assists per game. That's insane. There's some centers who don't even average 3 assists per game in their career, and this guy made that improvement in a year alone. I mean, that's fantastic. That shows a guy who clearly has a great basketball sense. And we'll see where Bam Adebayo hopefully ends up higher in this list, because I like him a lot as a player. But like we said too, it's really going to be a struggle to get higher than these top 3 guys, because they're just they're top.
What they bring to the game is something different. They might not bring that defensive aspect that Adebayo brings, but our top 3 guys, they bring that presence that could be that MVP caliber in any given year.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think if you're in a fantasy draft and you get any of these 3 guys, you're not upset that this was your first pick in a fantasy draft by any means. You're probably pretty happy.
Yeah.